very good. I like that data validation thing that you're doing. Very good. So now that you got your, okay, you're working on it. Now keep going, Adarsh. Yeah.
I have to make a new scanner object since the other one was using
Very good. String, yes. You remembered. Very good. Sorry about that. Adarsh, can you give me 2 minutes? I'll be back really quickly, please. Thank you. Darsh, how's everything going? Hello, Darsh, can you hear me? Is it going okay? Any questions so far?
I'm kind of stuck on like how would you add a number to the string, like the parity.
Yes, so you would add the parity at the very end of the 8-bit string that they've already entered.
But like, what would you use to actually add it? Say
So
like a
how would
method.
you add?
We'd add it.
Well, no, you kind of have to like join it as a string. So you already know what they've entered, right? So you already
Yeah.
have the input. Then you're just gonna do plus. You remember how you like print out stuff when you
Oh yeah.
print? Yeah, so
Hmm.
just like
Okay.
that. So you're just gonna do the plus without a space. So enter the parity odd or even. Okay. Yeah, but one thing, Adarsh, though, is that here, when you said enter the parity odd or even, so they would enter odd or even, and here you're validating. And if it's odd, you're just putting the parity and then you're adding. But remember, you have to count the number of ones in their parity bits because your program is the one
Or to
that's,
check
yeah,
that
so it's the
it's
one that's going to be smart to detect which one to add. Yeah. So that's the kind, you remember why I told you that you needed the character at? Remember why I said that? Was because the character at, when you have a string dot character at, that's how you're going to detect and say if the character at whatever index position is equal to one, then you should have like a count one equal count one plus one. That means you're counting the number of ones because here you're going to count the number of ones that could determine for your program whether to add a zero or to add a one. So think about it that way. So you need, yeah, so you need to use this
so
for
it's,
at.
should I make another method to do it or
Depends on you. If you want to use another method, I would suggest you do that because that could be a method where you're basically checking the number of parities, yeah, parity bits. Very good. It's a very good start. Then I would suggest, Adarsh, that perhaps you would rethink where you're going to be putting this if input parity equals, unless you have another
yeah?
plan. Okay.
But first, you need to go
Get
through
the,
this.
okay.
This would become
Very good. Yeah. Very good. Very, very good. Okay. Equals, right? Something, something.
equals.
And if you're gonna put the one, make sure you put with single quotes because it's a char, not a string. So single quotes. Yeah.
Then okay.
Okay, you do okay, that works. So you're saying if the parity that's found is one, so you need to count it, right? Count the number of ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then
I think it's just this method doesn't have like a closing maybe somewhere, I
yeah,
think.
it's
Yeah.
so then I would add count. So I'd make a count
Mm-hmm. That was what I was thinking.
like that.
Yeah, brilliant. Yes. So count ones equals yes. That's the shorthand. Yes. And I feel like this statement, like the whole if again, because now you're counting one. So, okay, you're going to change it. I see you're going to change it. So after doing the number of ones, now you know how many ones you have. Now you can determine if you're going to add a zero or one at the end of the 8-bit parity.
Yeah.
So very good. Okay, you're close to the ending.
So do we need this else if part?
No, you do not actually. What you do need is, well, I would suggest that this goes out first. Let's just
Mhm.
get it cleared so that your error doesn't stay there. Okay, you need one more for your for loop, and that's it. Okay, so now your for loop's ended. Now you need something like an if count ones
Yeah.
modulus, because you need to know if it's an even, well, you're counting how many they are. So if it's even, that means you're gonna, and they want to do even. And also think about this, Adarsh. If the number of ones is even, and the person or whoever is using this program wants an even parity, that means you're gonna add zero, so that you don't add an extra one at the end. So you keep it as even. However, if
Mhm.
it's odd, then you're gonna add one. So that's kind of how you also have to get the input from the person saying if count ones is modulus 2 because you have to check if it's even. If it's
Yeah.
modulus 2 equal 0, right? No remainder, that means it's even. And you also have to go back and check what input parity they want. So if input parity is even, then in that case you just add a 0, not a 1 to the end of the parity bits. So think
Could
about
you
the
go over
condition.
that? How do you check if it's odd or even?
Okay, so what I was thinking was here, when you say if count ones, okay, modulus 2 equal 0. So here you're checking if it's even, right? And then
Hmm.
you're going to say and then you have the input parity that they entered, which was basically saying if they wanted an odd or even. And so
Yeah.
you're going to say and input parity dot equals, because that was a string, they would specify whether it was odd or even. So let's say they said even, however they wrote it. So in that case, that means you're going to say your parity bits, which is what you had before. I think you called it parity bit, is going to be equal to zero.
Disparity.
It was parity? Okay, so parity is equal to 0. So in that sense, you're not adding anything, only 0, because, they are wanting to have an even, and the number of ones is already even, so you can add a 1 there because it becomes odd. So instead, you add a parity bit that's going to be 0 at the end.
Hmm.
Does that make sense? So that's kind of what I was saying.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so you go ahead and I think we've done the first part of even. So now what about if it's odd? So if the number of basically anything that's modulus 2 is not equal to 0 is odd. So
So just else
else
party.
if, yeah, else if, yeah,
Hmm. I
modul
found.
modulus 2 not equal 0. Or if you want, you could say modulus 3 equals 0. So odd in that sense. Anyways, if it's that and input parity that they entered was odd, so if they wanted odd, so in that case, what parity bit would you be adding to their,
One.
yeah? Well, if it's wait, first let's look at the condition though, Adarsh. If it's basically we're saying if it's even, like right now, let's even do the even. So here we're saying if they entered something that's even and they wanted an even, you're putting a 0. So let's continue with if they entered something that's even and they wanted an odd, because you're gonna do it for different occasions. Whether
Oh
they,
yeah.
yeah, so you need to do, and they wanted odd, then in that case, you're going to add the 1, right? Because they're having even and they wanted odd. So, and now you're going to repeat the same two set conditions for the odd part now. They wanted something that was odd, but they wanted an even. Then if they wanted something that was odd and they wanted an odd. Same situation, what I mean. So kind
Thank
of
you.
like, yeah.
So then it would just be like this.
Maybe an if again. I feel like they should be like if statements instead of like else ifs.
Okay.
Anyways, keep going, Adarsh. No, you're doing good. Keep going as an else if. Let's see, as an else if. Mhm. So now if that was not equal to 0 and yeah, and they wanted an even, very good. So what would you add? So if it was odd and they wanted even, then it would be 1.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
you do
think
one.
that's correct. Yeah. And then the last one is if it was odd and they wanted odd, then it will be 0. Very good. Okay, so now this whole parity thing, like you did before, has to be added to the string. Okay, I think you're doing it here.
So that.
Yeah, I like that. That's good. That's a good way to display the response. Yep. Okay, so your semicolon is just...
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I think everything seems fine. There was a curly brace that was missing, which I just added, but everything seems good. Now it's time to, I guess, run it when you finish calling the method. Oh, there's a couple of errors.
Oh, because I made parity in integer.
Yeah, okay.
Then
Oh, but if you're gonna combine it, Adarsh, with the input parity that they entered, because you're, wait, which one's input exactly? Input is which one?
input is like the original string, but with the 8-bit. And input arity is the
Oh, okay.
string odd reading.
Oh, okay. But you made the input string, so don't forget. And if you're going to combine a string with a string, you need the concatenation sign. You need the plus sign. So it's not going to work if you make parity a string, I mean an int, and you're trying to combine it with the string and you're using the plus sign. You know what
Oh,
I mean? Because you're just
I think
adding
so.
it. So you're just adding it, like adding it, not necessarily like calculating adding it. So you're just adding it to the end of the string. So it will be better if you had kept it as what you had it before, but just make parity string instead of int.
Okay.
You'll see what I mean when you run it. Because it's just some value that you're adding at the end of what they've already entered. So
We'll add the quotes back.
and then you have to make the parity a string so that it can concatenate with the other. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so it says it cannot find symbol I. Hmm. Wait, isn't it supposed to be for I? Wait, I is less than, yeah. Oh, because you forgot the int. Yeah, int I
Okay.
before. Yeah, that's the reason. So I guess that's the only one that was having that issue. Okay, now it says enter your 8 bits. Oh, you put a 2 instead of a 1. Should we do like, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can we do even? Let's see if it's gonna add a 1.
Sure.
Parity entry is incorrect. Why? Is it not even? Aren't you supposed to, what's the validation for that? So if input parity is not e dot equals odd, or while input parity is not equals to odd, or input parity, and
This.
I think and change it to an and instead of an or. Yeah, because then it will check the two conditions.
Hmm.
Now let's see. This is pretty exciting. Getting to see that this actually runs well. It's an exciting thing. Okay, so let's see at the end. It takes a while to compile though. Okay, it seems like it's ready now. Oh, yeah. Should we do odd? So we see if it...
Okay.
Ooh, okay, let's see. It works. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it works. Okay, can we try another run? Let's do even. Even.
Sure.
Okay. Perfect. This is very good, Adar. She really deserves an award. You did very well. Congratulations. It's really good. Okay. Should we do like an, because I want to do like the opposite of adding 1. So here, if it's 3, if we add 1, that means it's an even. If we keep it as 3, it's an odd. Should we just do odd, see if it adds a 0 instead?
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, works.